Oh yeah. PEGLIN is very good. I've been playing it since, I got a review code for it about 2 years ago. Or not 2 years ago, 2 years before it came out, because I got, an early code from the developers. So, yeah, this has been one of those games where I knew it was kind of gonna pop off really well when it came out. And sure enough, it absolutely rules. Yeah, Jax definitely plays it quite often from what I've seen, which is completely fair, because again, this game just absolutely kicks ass. Like, I think she has like 50 plus hours in it currently. Yes, the music is very satisfying. Very, energetic, kind of gets you in the mood for it. Yeah, absolutely. Boss time, I believe. Or mini boss time. Not sure what's causing the frame drops, because this game is not very intensive. Well, I do have Spectrum. Spectrum is not that great, but I don't think it's that. I don't think it's my internet. But, also, yeah, PEGLIN is fantastic, like a fantastic idea. Like, roguelite PEGLIN is just... And then they absolutely nailed the, execution of it. Fantastic, fantastic game. Sure. That's alright. And... the Warp Hammer. That's a pretty good one. Pocket Watch is pretty alright. Yeah, I was responding to Shinobody on YouTube, because I'm multi-streaming to both. So if you see me responding to like someone who, you know, like if you don't see something that's like directly related to what I'm responding to, it's probably because I'm responding to someone on the other. But don't really need the rest orb there. But yeah, PEGLIN just is a fantastic game. And granted, I haven't played... Well, I don't remember playing PEGL. I have it on Steam, but I haven't played it. I think that I may have played it as a kid growing up, but I was always more into Plants vs. Zombies, personally, when it comes to PopCap. As one should be, as far as I'm concerned. Because Plants vs. Zombies absolutely shreds. At least one does. I have not played 2, and I have not played the beta or whatever it is for 3. Nor do I really intend to, because... not really necessary. Trying to get this spinfection thing, so I can unlock. Finesse. I'm gonna focus on infection. Every shot gives multi-ball. That's very funny, so I'll go with that. Plants vs. Zombies. Yeah, Plants vs. Zombies is a PopCap game. Plants vs. Zombies 2 is only on mobile. And I've barely touched it. And they're still working on 3, but it's been in beta for like years at this point because people are hating it. Because they're kind of moving away from it being a lane defense kind of game and more into it being like a stock bad mobile game. I'm not saying that to be mean to the developers. I'm just saying that that's the vibe I get from it, is that it feels like a bad mobile game. Like it definitely reminds me of like Gardenscapes or something like that. Plants vs. Zombies 1 is like a really good so it's not like a tower defense game, I wouldn't say, because it's not like your traditional like tower defense, building towers and then the towers like you upgrade them over time or anything like that. It's a lane defense game where it's kind of there's a clear structure to it, but so it's not like you just kind of have like the towers and then they kind of move around and all that, or they attack the enemies as they move around, I should say. It's more kind of like you I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. Like you have like the lanes and you kind of build up your defenses over the levels, and then hi there, Chino Sarna, or Shinobody from YouTube. Yeah, so basically, like with Plants vs. Zombies, they've kind of moved away from what was making it like an interesting series, in my opinion, which is that it was like I guess you could say kind of like a premium casual game. Like it was like a game that was for everybody, but it was like it kind of had like a lot of features and bits and bobs to it. Now it's kind of like it's still that technically from like a business perspective because it's an EA game, like all the all PopCap games are now. Oh god, that is amazing. Like it was a game that like anyone could enjoy, but it had like a lot that you could do with it, that it wasn't just like, it wasn't just like a basic arcade mode or anything like that. It was a lot more than that, like in terms of what you could do with it. You could go into like the different game modes and shit. It was just fantastic. Like, it did everything that it wanted to do and a little bit more on top of that, and I really respect that. Also, I'm about to die here. Well, actually, with Matryoshka, should not. Oh, that didn't do anything because I didn't have any bombs. Yeah, I've made a mistake by going with the -1 attack thing, because I just killed my run there. But I will also say a game that kind of hits in the same pocket as classic Plants vs. Zombies is mostly Intense Monster Defense. It's very clearly inspired by Plants vs. Zombies, but it's got a very nice sense of humor to it. It's very cute pixel art, and it's a lane defense like game, which you don't see as much as you do general tower defense games. And when you do, a lot of them are kind of like not very good mobile games, to be quite honest. Yeah. I do love Matryoshka though. It's such a fun orb. That was a mistake. Oh well, it's not like this slime's gonna get to me, right? No, I joke. It's not gonna get to me. Pretty obviously. Spinfection. I need Spinfection so I can actually get unlocks. Are there any good mobile games? Oh, there are plenty of good mobile games, plenty of great ones even, like Reventure. Well, a lot of them are ports, but you've also got things like Tomb Toad. Tomb Toad is very good, but it had 50 downloads, or like 50 purchases because it's a paid game. It had like 50 downloads for the longest time. Now it's at 1,000, which, let me see here. I don't see how much it is because I already bought it, but I would definitely say Tomb Toad is terrific. Crescent Moon Games honestly has quite a few good ones. They're the publishers of Tomb Toad. I'm just looking over that. They had Morphite, which is kind of like mobile No Man's Sky, which is also on it's also on PC. Maze Man I liked. Sword Shot is quite good. I would definitely recommend, like, there are lots of these publishers who do like the little ports and whatnot, and also just good mobile games. I'd definitely say Dead Cells, Scorchbringer, a couple of really great ports. Well, I can't speak to the quality of the port of Scorchbringer, but that's a great game, and it seems to be doing pretty well on mobile. You've got also like the Garlic-like games, and PEGLIN is also on mobile as well nowadays. I'm just trying to check. Brotato is very good on mobile. Reigns is really good. Zynga is really great. Little mobile puzzle game. I can't speak to the quality of the port, but There Is No Game Wrong Dimension is fan-fucking-tastic. I love that game. Excellent point-and-click adventure. Genuinely one of my favorites. Even. A lot of people will say Soul Knight. Oh, Garlic-like is games in the vein of Garlic-like is a genre for games that are in the vein of Vampire Survivors. It's better than... A lot of people will say, like, Horde game or something like that, but that implies, you know, Horde implies, like, Horde mode, like Left 4 Dead. So that's a very bad genre descriptor for games that are inspired by Vampire Survivors and Magic Survival. Which is the original game in that genre, it's just people ignore it in favor of Vampire Survivors, because that was the more popular one. But... And that's also a mobile game, by the way, that's part of why people ignore Magic Survival as being the original version of that genre. Horde mode is it's a mode of so it's HORDE, not like hoarding wealth, like HOARD. Horde mode is kind of like fighting off waves of enemies, like Left 4 Dead, Payday 2, Left 4 Dead, Payday 2. Gears of War has a Horde mode. That's probably one of the most popular ones. You know, just kind of like a waves of enemies, usually like a co-op game is a general. That's usually the appeal of them. Sorry for the dog barking in the background, by the way. Little barker. But, so, just like the basics of it is just a game where, you know, you're fighting off waves of enemies. Usually it's a first-person or third-person shooter. But a Horde mode just means that, again, fighting off, like, hordes of enemies. Hence why it's called a Horde mode. That's all it really is just, you know, fighting off, like, hundreds of enemies, like, over time. But yeah, like, Brotato is really good. I do not like Vampire Survivors itself. I do not care for that game whatsoever. So I'm not gonna recommend that as, like, a mobile game. Ah, shit. A lot of people will say Soul Knight, but I think that game kinda is a little bit not good, to be quite honest. I do not care for Soul Knight in the slightest. But that's a game that's trying to be like a serious game. It's just not very good at it, to be honest. Right now I'm just looking through. Slayaway Camp is really good. That's, That's like a slasher puzzle game. No, not Diablo Immortal. Fuck Diablo Immortal. Show me actually decent shit. Fucking Google, come on. Injustice 2? No. Hidden Through Time is supposed to be good, but I haven't played it, so I can't speak to that one. There are a bunch of decent to great mobile games that are like super predatory, so I'm not going to recommend those ones, because even though I enjoy them, I wouldn't recommend getting involved with any of that stuff. So I'm trying to think, or trying to find shit that's actually like good and doesn't have any of that bullshit. I'm trying to see, like the Balloons games are really good. I definitely add those into the conversation of good mobile games. But yeah, like a lot of the times when you're looking at good to great mobile games, it's mostly ports of games that you can also find on Steam and whatnot. They're just usually cheaper versions of them to win over the mobile market more easily. I guess Eye of Turtle is alright. Vampire Survivors is free on mobile though, so it's no harm to check it out. For sure. Brotato is also on mobile though, and I think Brotato personally is a better game in that genre. But again, I am an anti-Vampire Survivors ideologue. I'm being facetious, but again, not a fan. Oh yeah, Brotato is like, if like Vampire Survivors to me just kind of, a lot of my problem with it is that I feel it's just kind of lacks a lot of oomph to it. Brotato does not have that issue in the slightest. It feels fucking great. Let me see. I really need health right now. What are some other good ones on mobile? World of Goo is good, but oh, it's a Netflix game. Okay, that makes sense why it's got 2.8 on Google Play Store. Which, when you get below 4 on Google, obviously it is not usually a good sign, because a lot of the mobile, user base are children who generally have like a lower standard for like great games. That it is usually like they will put it to immediate 5 stars, which, and that's not to do like the whole like treating children like they're stupid or anything. That shouldn't generally how kids are. They'll usually either go 5 stars or 1 star. But the Netflix games, that's mostly adults, because a lot of those are people who are trying to find decent shit on their Netflix subscriptions. So currently there's like Spiritfarer is like a Netflix original mobile game, even though that game came out years ago before it was on Netflix. So that's one. Into the Breach is another. Super Auto Pets is fucking fantastic. That is, like, by all metrics, Super Auto Pets should be like one of those shitty mobile games that are like super predatory. It is not in the slightest. It is just absolutely a joy. I love Super Auto Pets. 100% recommend that one. When did Netflix start doing games? Last year. It just comes with the subscription and it's kind of tucked away on the app. So a lot of people don't even notice it. But they got fucking Into the Breach. Like, and Spiritfarer. Which is in, like, what the fuck? Also the follow-up to, Downwell. Point P, like the game that's by the developer of that. Desta, the Memories Between, which I haven't touched yet. That one is by... I don't even say the fucking names of the developers. It's by the Alba Wildlife Adventure developers, which is a fantastic game. They have Oxenfree, which they bought. Oxenfree, the developers of that. So that makes sense that that's... They have fucking They have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge game. Holy shit. That game rules. They have Terra Nil on there. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, which is fantastic. And, no, that's not the one that's developed by, that's not the one that's co-developed by, Nitrome. Nitrome co-developed, Shovel Knight Dig. Which is, not as good as Pocket Dungeon, as far as I'm concerned. Oh yeah, they have, Before Your Eyes as well, which is one of the best games ever made. Yeah, so, like, they've got a lot of shit on there that's not worth just tossing in the bin. Netflix does, but they have Kentucky Road Zero. Jesus fucking Christ. Shatter. I'm just looking into this because I'm like, what the fuck do they have? Immortality, which I heard the port of that is really bad on mobile. They have Reigns 3 Kingdoms, and Reigns games are always really good. So that's probably like good to check out. They have their own version of Bloons TD Defense, which I don't know if I strictly trust like a Netflix or I don't know if that's strictly necessary for there to be a Netflix version of that. Arcanium Rise of Akon. I'm just naming these things, which is not particularly great commentary, probably. But I'm just, like, blown away by some of the shit they fucking have looped into here. Leia's Horizon, which I've never heard of. Looks really good, though. Yeah, like, there's just a lot of shit on there that's just like, what the fuck have they... Like, why are they not pushing it more, you know? To where people don't even know that it's a thing. Again, they have, like, literally some of the best games ever made on there. Absolute failures that they can't even get people to know that it's a thing. Like, that is a failure of Netflix's, like, everyone working on, like, the marketing side of things. Because holy shit, that should be, like, an easy layup. Also, I'm probably gonna lose this run. Yeah, I know it's probably hard to keep up. That reminds me of one of let me see. The Legend of Heroes. I'm not familiar with that one. Yeah, I was just reading off those because it's like absolutely like baffling how much shit is on there that should just be like an easy, you know, hey, we actually have a lot of cool shit on here. Actually take Netflix for games seriously, and it's like, no, because you have a lot of bad versions of games and whatnot, apparently. I haven't played much of the, like, Netflix games, to be quite honest. I've tried the Point P game, because I was like, ooh, a new game by the Downwell developer. That should be cool. I don't actually care for Point P, to be honest. And it makes me very sad to say so. Because, again, it's by the Downwell developer. I just realized that's another fantastic fantastic mobile game. Like, Downwell is terrific. I would absolutely recommend Downwell. Oh shit. Reloading, so muscular orb. Oh yeah. Your sister, all others. Warhammer is probably the best of those, in my opinion. At least for the build. Or for a generic build, I guess. Let me see. You may have heard of it as either the Trails or Kiseki series, starting with Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, quite possibly the best story we've seen in a video game, and fantastic music as is Falcon's wont. Yeah, I've definitely heard of, you know, the Falcon Trails. I've heard of it as Trails. Yeah, I've heard of that series, but I haven't gotten I haven't actually tried any of the games in the series, I'm pretty sure. But then again, with like subscriptions and all that shit, like I may have and may just have forgotten. Which is kind of one of those things where things have changed quite a lot, because I used to be able to be like, oh yeah, I've definitely played that game before, but it's like, because of like subscriptions and all that, which I'm not complaining about necessarily, I'm just saying like things have changed in that way. Like, it is much easier to just kind of forget that I've ever touched a game before, I'm finding it. Even if it was a game that I've played like 20 hours of or some shit. So it's definitely just like, that's also part of, you know, like saturation in general. Like, there are so many games coming out at every time. Like, you know, everywhere all at once, basically. You're just getting an absolute barrage. All day, every day. they're not very forgettable games. Yeah, but I also stopped playing a lot of games pretty quickly, so even if... And also there are like other games in the genre I may be mixing games up with as well. Because I know there's like the there's Sega's is it Valkyria Chronicles? Is that the one that Sega has? Valkyria Chronicles? Yeah, I'm not like super into a lot of Eastern RPGs. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I think I played the fourth one. Was it 4? Yeah, 4. It was staring in my face. I definitely played that one on Stadia because I wanted to test that out to see how that was on mobile. Shockerville Shocks, it wasn't that great. You know, I was just kind of checking out to see how things worked on it. I was planning on maybe doing like a shorter video on it, but then Google eventually just ended up killing it, so like no point in that. No point being like, here's how Stadia actually is, in case you were curious. Because again, he died. A pretty horrible and painful death, to be quite honest. Yeah, it is Sega. Valkyria Chronicles. I didn't really pay much attention to the game itself, from what I recall, because the streaming was so bad on Stadia, which is another thing you kind of have to consider in like the new age, right? Like, sometimes games will just not stream well. Like, they'll run, like, really badly, and then you just kind of end up noping out of them. And then it's like, oh, I played that game, it ran like shit, and even if it's not, like, the game's fault, it's the streaming of it, right? You can still kind of get that impression where it kind of... We're not saying taints, but, like, in a harsh kind of way, but it definitely kind of can feel like that. Also, I really need HP. I mean, I'm pretty sure most everyone could see that coming a mile away. Stadia was kind of a bizarre concept to begin with. The thing is I don't think it's necessarily, like, impossible. Like, it's just Google did not invest in it like they could have, and like they would have to have any chance of kind of breaking into video games, which they thought they just had by birthright because we're a big global tech company. This should be easy. Video games, those are the things for kids, you know? And then they proceeded to get their asses whooped. So it's like... Stadia, I don't think was horrible, like I don't think it was irredeemable, I'll say. Like, there were some games on there that, at least on mobile, where it was like, this is really cool that I get to play this on, like, my phone, and it runs like shit, but it's still kind of cool tech, you know? But then you realize, like, Xbox does that. You can play Hades on your phone. On Xbox Cloud. Like, That is way more impressive. That is infinitely more impressive. Though, even still, you do basically need a controller on xCloud. Which I don't think a lot of people who are, like, drinking the Kool-Aid on it, on Xbox Cloud and whatnot, I don't think a lot of them kind of recognize the fact that people need a controller for it is like a failure of the technology, to be honest. Because, like, the whole point is supposed to be letting anyone get into, like, these potentially quite big games. Like, again, Hades is not something to sniff at. So it's like, you do kind of have to be like, well, not everyone has a, you know, not only a controller, but an Xbox controller, because PlayStation ones don't work on mobile without you jumping through like 20 hoops. And getting them wired, I think, if I remember correctly. Which, by the way, word to the wise, do not buy a PlayStation 5 controller if you do not have a PlayStation 5. It is not a good multi-platform controller. It does not have Windows support built in, and also they are badly made and would need to be replaced, like, less than a year later anyways, because the analogs are broken on them. So, yeah. That's one thing where I would definitely, you know, advise against people doing what I did, which was, oh, I heard these are really good controllers. It would be good to have something that's, you know, like, nice and would last a good amount of time. And then I bought it, and then it's like, oh, this is broken like 7 months later. What fun. But anyways, bitterness aside about... Wow, I wasted that money. Trying to think of... Oh, so, a game that I just played before starting this stream that I would like to recommend is, this, 20-minute art game. Like, it is not like an expansive game by any means. Again, I finished it in 24 minutes. And part of that was because I died foolishly. Unnecessarily too. Because I didn't pay attention to the... Or at least I didn't see where, like, the little monster thingy was coming from. That game is just very good. Like, very impactful. Which I like. I like games that, you know, Short, sweet, to the point. Hit me in the feels. I'm about to die here. Or not. Not. I did not die. I wasn't going to. Finesse. Be good here. Probably unwise to keep going with that. This is very good, so I will go with that. The 360 controller is nice, but the D-pad is awful. We've heard the Xbox One controller fix that, but we've never used one. Or, yeah. I'm trying to think about the D-pad on the Xbox One controller, because I had a 360 and I had an Xbox One back in the olden days, as far as I'm concerned. But I can't remember how the D-pads were. Like, I think the Xbox One controllers generally were just very good at what they were. But I also remember quite liking the 360 controllers. Because again, my memory is kind of dodgy. So it's kind of difficult to be, like, comparing them in my mind. Because I never had them, like, side by side or anything, of course. To do, like, a comparison on that. Nor would I have thought to. The 360 controller is great except for the D-pad. The PlayStation 5 controllers, I will say, they feel really good. But, like, feeling good ergonomically is not worth having to replace the controllers every, like, 7 months. Like, they are absolutely terribly made. Like, they're absolutely not worth it, considering that. I think Nintendo still had a patent on D-pads at the time, so they had to do something legally distinct. Possible. Ball links seems good. I'm not sure if ball links works as a pun, but I'll take it. Because, you know, phalanx. I'm not sure if ball links works as a pun of phalanx. Excellent. But yeah, like, I'm still kind of miffed about getting wrapped up in, like, the hype cycle of the controller and people being like, holy shit, this is one of the greatest controllers ever. And me just being like, oh, cool. I guess that would be a good one to grab then. For the next couple of years. Nope. They're not one of the greatest controllers ever. They are an absolute ripoff. Oh, jeez. Like, they ruined so many recordings. Or at least the one I had ruined so many recordings. It was absolutely shambolic. I need another bomb build, honestly. That's what I've been missing this stream. Oh yeah, the GameCube controller was pretty good too. They also last forever. We still have our original ones from like 2003 or whenever, and they still work fine. Yeah, I also always loved the PlayStation 2 controllers, but that may just be like nostalgia and having been a kid at the time talking. I don't know if that holds any level of scrutiny. Getting them to work with a computer requires extra hardware, though. Yeah, like adapters or something like that. Makes sense. Nintendo is obviously pretty infamous for being very protective of their hardware and software. Not that that's good by any means, of course, but that makes sense. That tracks. I don't really need fireballs. Well, it's more just like they use a custom connector that computers don't have on them. Yeah. But that's also like a design thing. Like they probably did that on purpose. If I had to imagine. But granted, I'm not super savvy on I'm not super savvy on like old controllers, so maybe that was just a standard thing at the time. Maybe not for computers, I'm thinking, but maybe just in general, like for general uses. But again, I don't know if that's like a standard thing, and I may just be, you know, attributing Nintendo stuff they would do now to what they would have done then at a different time technologically. That was in fact a standard thing. Okay, with a custom connector. Okay, that makes sense. Just over time, it became more practical, I suppose, to have, holy shit. It just became more practical to have, like, USB connectors. Okay, that makes sense. Again, I'm not, like, super savvy on that stuff, so... Pre-Bluetooth. Yeah. Whenever you gain must circle, your aim is your aim is longer and displays an additional bounce. This one always throws me off, so this is a straight upgrade. And I will take it. I don't know why that always throws me off. It seems like it's just a straight upgrade, but for some reason I always like make way more misplays when I have that ability. Yeah, which is not really something I honestly care much to know, to be quite honest. Like, the hardware side of things is not really my forte and not something I particularly care much to make one. Even if it bites me in the ass sometimes, like with PlayStation 5 controllers being absolute shit and me buying one. Remove an orb? Absolutely. Get rid of the stone. Nobody needs the stone. Ah, shit. My bomb strategies are not panning out right now. Okay. There will be at least one bomb going off sometime soon. Aw, hell yeah. I'm probably gonna die to this boss, so let's go. Oh god. That did absolutely nothing. Oh no, it's no problem. No worries, like, I did start the conversation talking about hardware, in fairness. So it's no issue. Yeah, the boss music in this game is all just great. So this boss is, kinda difficult to bust through. Because it's got 3000 HP and I've only done 88 to it. You kinda need a specific build that counters it. And I do not have that as of right now. Because, like, oh jeez. Yep, I'm about to die right now. Yep. Nice and bouncy. Yep. Indeed. Oh, there's none for Spin S. Okay. I need to get Bulwark, I guess. After you are attacked, the attacker receives... This is Bulwark synergy, so Bulwark. Okay. Aw, hell yeah. We actually managed to beat this boss on our first run that got to the castle, ended up with a good build for it purely by chance apparently, because it was the second run we ever did and we had no idea what we were doing. Yeah, like... And you definitely can have like those very fortuitous runs where it's just like you ice like a given boss like very easily. But that boss I always have troubles with, to be honest. None of these are Bulwark synergy, so just go with Warp Hammer again, because Warp Hammer is a good one. None of these are, you know, great for the build I have, so I'll just take that and run. I don't think we've managed to beat it again since, so yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one to crack. Like, I've definitely beaten it before, but usually when I had like a bomb build. I have too many reloads on the board. Need to the bomb. Actually, I don't need to worry about getting to the bomb because Wood Dude walked right up to me. Again, none of these are bomb synergy, so... or, Bulwark synergy, rather. So, just gonna leave. And... I would very much appreciate getting to one of the bombs. I'm praying to the Peg gods. This is not working out. The Peg gods have forsaken me. That should work. At least getting rid of that full slime feller. I'm kind of washing out right now. I guess I'll go with that one. This Orbsium one is quite good. Yeah. Oh. I meant to say wiping out if I said anything else. Egg. I shall protect you, egg. I guess tactical treat. Ooh, this one's good. Special relic. Time to accidentally send myself to the mini boss. No. I know that if I lost it there, it will not get me to the mini boss there. Oh. I have spared your life, egg. Yeah, that's surf lingo. Wiping out. Which, to be quite honest, like I have no relevance in surfer culture. I am a Floridian, but I have literally never surfed once in my life. What does the egg do? If you shoot the egg, it will die, but it will heal you for each peg it hits. And I would prefer to not kill the egg. Doctorb. I'm not getting a single Boldorb synergy here. Coins be nice. Well, asking you shall receive, I suppose. As I got a place to earn more for the... or not. Grab more, I guess, for the shop. I'm using capitalist language, oh no. You have been spared again, egg. Do not forget this. I'm personifying the egg for comedic purposes. Okay. Give me bulwark synergies. Protect Orb? Bucklorb? I'll take it. More bombs. Excellent. And got that. That was a complete failure on my part. And I may pay the iron price for it. My hubris. If I go down, I'm taking the egg with me. The Vor boss, yes. I have been omnommed. I get the feeling that that may already have 7 pages on DeviantArt of lore. And I sure hope so. No. I only Google Vor-related things for comedic purposes and nothing else. Namely, Clown Vor. Which is something I actually have looked up for comedic purposes. Spinfection. Game's really trying to get me into Spinfection. But Spinfection takes a lot to get going, it seems like. So many of these question marks just end up being battles. Why hide yourself if you're just gonna be a battle? Game. Why hide your true nature? Finesse. I don't need any of these. Almost got yeeted into the fire there. I guess health is good. Shall see if that pays off. If that pays dividends or not. Blech. Please give me a bomb. That's not a bomb. There's 2. That's what I was hoping for. Drop orb, I suppose. Oh, don't have enough for that. Hot diggity dang. Right. Yeah. So when you get the chests, that's on the, as far as I'm aware, that's randomized every time a new map is generated. As far as I'm aware, that is whenever you start, like a new area, it's already decided, if there are 2 chests in a row or anything like that. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. No, I want both of these. Oh, no, I don't mean getting 2 chests in a row. I'm not sure then. Okay, that would be good, I suppose. I mean, a couple of times we got a chest without going to the next node. Oh, I see. I'm not sure about that. That may just be a random event, honestly. Like, the navigation pegboard disappears and there's another chest, and then you go back to the navigation. Yeah, that may just be a random event, honestly. I have to guess, but I'm not certain. I should have done something there, honestly. And I'm gonna go into the fire for that one. Well, I think I'm in a good position to beat this boss. But I'm not so sure if I'm in a good position to do well going into the castle. Honestly, kind of good to not do a ton of damage to the tree. I'm gonna save it for the mole. Excellent. Again, that was borne out, I believe, by how that oh. Oops. The game got possessed by the spirit of 2,000 angry ghosts. Blech. Kind of ruined my my punchline there, but say la vie. Yeah, it may just be like a secret thing then. It may just be like sometimes it works, kind of like in Binding of Isaac, where sometimes when you blow up a rock, you'll get a soul heart, for example. I'm not certain about that. I wouldn't speak definitively on it, considering. Less orb discards. I'll take it. I'll just make sure not to get any bad orbs from this point on. That should be easy. Wait a second, did that... Does the left-hand path have 2 mini-bosses back-to-back? Did I see that right? If so, that is very funny, but also mortifying if I get stuck going that way. Screwed that up a little bit. Ouch. You can hit the map icon and check. I'll consider doing that. Okay. Extraordinary. I need health more than anything right now. I'm not risking going into the double mini-boss gauntlet. Not with this weak build, at least. I would like a boulder build or something of that sort if I were to do that. Boulder build is quite good, by the way. I meant to go for the reload there. Alright. Now we're cooking with gas. Leave orb. I'm not feeling any of these. I guess just that. And that is one of my favorite turns of phrase, personally. I do say it quite often. Now we're cooking with gas. I like that one quite a bit. Not sure if that's just a dialect thing or anything, but it is definitely one of those ones I use quite frequently. No, not the priest dudes. Alright, I'm gonna have to get rid of those stinkers, I guess. That's the best insult I could come up with.